furnace sits at a working temperature of 2,100 degrees. That's the moving temperature of lava. Every step that you make in glass, if it goes wrong, it changes the piece. It's extremely easy to put 4 or 5 hours into a single piece, and in a split second, something goes sideways and everything hits the floor and the piece is over. My name is Brandon Smith. I'm from Factoryville, Pennsylvania, and I'm a glassmaker.
This week I traveled to Scranton, Pennsylvania for our final showing there last year. Because it was our final event, we and our partners at University WVI...
Going to college probably is where everything started. I went to the Community College of Philadelphia. I was the first person in my family to go to college, so I didn't really have a lot of help on figuring that out, Come to find out that I ended up going to the top art foundations program in the country. I think everybody is inherently a maker or an artist in their own right. It's just finding it. I think the reason that I found myself being a maker probably comes from the family and environment that I grew up in, where I'm also extremely stubborn and I like to do things myself, and I don't like to wait on other people. So if there's a problem, I want to fix it myself. I didn't realize how much I was in love with construction and engineering until I had to fix all of my own cars because I couldn't afford to take them anywhere. I have a shitty beat up truck and it has to get me to work, and I don't know what this part is, so I'm just gonna sit here with the internet and some phone calls to friends. I think glass is analogous for an extreme amount of things in life, and one that's very direct and obvious in seeing it being made is dealing with failure. It's something that's completely unavoidable, and it's something that it's important to keep the perspective that you need it, and that it's a crucial part of any process. That's basically life in a nutshell, I find. You have to fail and mess things up to really understand what's going on. It's probably important to be observant of your environment and try to figure out where your consistencies lie, and also being able to do it again. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's a stepping stone towards success. And that's not to say that some people don't just nail life without really trying. There's always outliers. But for the most part, if you really want to be aware of what's going on and take control of your life and actually move it in directions, you have to stumble and fall. And it's just the natural occurrence of life. There's no safe space. We all have to go through stuff that sucks. The hard part of just being a human is maintaining that perspective of knowing that that's needed and then moving past it. Success is always much better after it precedes failure. I get nervous as all hell to start new pieces sometimes. My assistants will watch me pace around the shop for 15 minutes before I take the first step, because that's the hardest part, is the first step. Some people find themselves comfortable in a safe space. That's okay. I can't exist in a space like that. I remind my students when it comes to glass, I say silly things like, well, one time you also didn't know how to tie your shoes, and now it's this mindless thing that's just a part of your life, and all of these steps in glassmaking will become that. You just have to do them enough that it forms itself as a natural habit, and then you move on to the next area. It's a lot. It's mentally taxing. But it becomes almost meditative because there's no room for anything else in your head when you're doing it. It becomes this intense focus. I think that's where the high of success really links in. Glassblowing itself is extremely flashy and theatrical, and there's all this intense teamwork. So when the energy is high like that, you start to get high because everybody else in the room is bringing up to your energy level, and everybody can feel it, you know what I mean? And everything's going right, and when it happens, there's cheering, everybody's pumped, there's always celebratory meals. It's just, you really feel like you've done something, and then that goes away, and the next day you start right over again. You say, all right, now we have to move on. What's the next failure gonna be?
More than
look for ways to live their dream. People need to look for ways to make it on their